What's up, chess player? Welcome to the Journey to Grandmaster. And today I'm gonna play this 10 minutes game. I'm gonna explain all of my decisions to you in this process. I'm gonna share it with you the entire thought process of an international master, so you can incorporate it in your own game. And it's gonna be a very sharp game because it's a Sicilian defense, and you know, when that happens on the board, something crazy is gonna happen. So I'm gonna play e6 here. That's one of my favorite variations. Now d4 is a main move, but of course not the only one. Yeah, c3 is what white plays if he doesn't really want to get into something mad on the board and wants to keep a solid slight advantage. And let's see, yeah, bishop d3 is actually something different because the main move is e5 here, and not that I remember the variation exactly what black is supposed to do, but let's just follow the normal direction, knight c6, and I can play d5 immediately, I guess. Yeah, I remember something with d5, and then at some point I play c4 to push the bishop away. Okay, so before my dog interrupted us, we were discussing the c4 opportunity, but my opponent decides to take immediately. That simplifies the position slightly. I'm having the control of the center, but my opponent has a slight lead in terms of the development, so I really need to catch up and make sure that my king is safe. But afterwards, I mean, this side of the board is not really developed, I mean, not at all. He's gonna be quite in trouble if he doesn't do it fast. Because I'm thinking here about the move d4. If he manages to play d4, then everything is great. Bishop goes out, knight goes out, he has no troubles. But if I play d4, seems like I have enough defenders for that, then he has a problem, because if you play d3, then you lock this bishop, it's not that active anymore, and also, well, still you have some space problem. So let's go for it. If you have the initiative, you have, use it, so that's what I'm gonna do. He doesn't take, but plays d3 immediately. Okay, well, he has to do that because he has to develop, but I have a pretty comfortable position now. I can develop my bishop, which is putting some pressure on the pawn. I need to develop my rooks into the game, but in general, knight d5 is going to be coming with a tempo at some point. So I enjoy the opening so far. Maybe I have some crazy ideas like c4 takes and d3, but the golden rule is if everything goes good, you don't need to sacrifice anything without a very good reason for it. For example, here my opponent plays bishop b3 because he wants to create some activity, he wants to be active, that's clear, but basically it's a pawn sacrifice, because after pawn takes, knight takes, d3 pawn is hanging, but maybe he wants to play something like knight g5, and I might be in trouble, but I have the move c4 there, because even if queen takes, bishop takes, the pawn is still protected, the bishop is under attack. I mean, I can take with the bishop in the first place instead of the queen, also a very possible way to go on. In every case, I feel like I should take this pawn, because, well, I have this chance. If I don't use it now, it might never be there anymore. For example, if I just skip one move, then my opponent is gonna take here, and it's gonna be a different story. But still, this pawn is going to be weak. The downside is that I allow my opponent to finish his development very fast. Even if he just takes, he finishes completely the development, all of the pieces are going to be active, but so are mine, but I'm still a pawn up. So let me take a risk and go for it. So no matter how strong your opponent is, no matter what he's doing, like he's trying to bluff you, thinking that, okay, I'm gonna make this impression that I'm attacking and it's really dangerous. Don't take that bluff. If you believe that your position is better, just use your chances. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. So I'm gonna take, I feel like taking with the queen is a little bit better, because if the queens are going off the board, I don't have any worries about some attacks. That is why he decides to leave the queens on the board. But I still can play c4. Maybe not, maybe there is rook d1 and my queen is in trouble. That is actually a problem. I don't want to lose my queen. But it's gonna happen only if I play c4, because then I don't have this a6 square. If I just play rook d8, it's gonna be still fine. But there is another threat potentially. Bishop, no wait, bishop c2, I can just take it. So knight g5, I have bishop g6. It's like never a big deal. So let me just play rook d8 for now. You remember that development is the king, is the key to success as well. So I really want to bring all of my pieces. And of course, instead of the queen on d3, I would like to have my knight there. By the way, maybe knight b4 was a possibility instead of queen takes d3. Okay, bishop c7, I don't really get this move, because I can just play rook d7 and attack the bishop. Knight e5, I just take it. Okay, bishop e5. Now I cannot take it because of the fork, but I also don't want to, because the bishop is blocking the rook. It's taking the square away from white's pieces, so I'm not sure what is the point. What can I do instead? Okay, bishop takes f6 is right. Now I understand it, because my rook is pinned and I definitely don't want to take with the pawn back. So maybe I can just play rook d8. Double on my rooks over the d file, also an open file, so the rook should be very active there. Well, rook f8 was an alternative to make sure that everything is secured with the pawn on f7, but it's kind of a passive way, and I am always trying to go for the most active one. So let's see what is the attack here. Yeah, queen f4, I like it. So my opponent is really creating a lot of threats that might be dangerous, because not only rook d1 is coming, bishop c4 is also coming. Still have queen c2 attacking the pawn, rook e2. Yeah, that is really dangerous. But I'm thinking about bishop g6, because in this case I'm gonna have queen f5 additional square for myself, and I have to speed up a little bit, not to get into time trouble, and still have an opportunity to explain you my whole ideas. But feels like everything is more or less secured. If I manage to play queen f5, I'm totally fine. Let's see, maybe he has something like knight h4 to prevent that. Or bishop c7. Because the rook is under attack. Yeah, but just rook c8 is possible, or maybe rook f8, but now the pawn is protected. Let's play rook c8, because it's a move with a tempo, I'm attacking it, he doesn't really have any choice. Yeah, if he just goes back, now I finally can play queen f5. Don't see any problem with that. Because once again, you have extra material, just exchange everything, and especially the queens if your opponent has the initiative, because it's gonna make your life so much easier. Yeah, now I feel like I'm gonna overtake the initiative. I have rook d3 with the tempo. I will be able to take on e5. Still annoying because my rook would be hanging. Yeah, still not perfect. Rook takes f3. The problem is, I mean, pawn takes, I guess I'm gonna have a tremendous compensation there, but he has queen takes. If I lose the exchange, I don't really want to exchange the queens. What else do I have? Maybe I have, yeah, knight h5, he has g4. No, g4, queen takes. But knight h5 is somehow a move away, maybe knight to d5 would be possible. Knight d4, another interesting move, but he has bishop takes and then bishop and e7 is hanging. So, not that simple. So maybe I should, yeah, but if I take in the end of the day, this bishop is in trouble. Somehow I have some difficulties. And bishop c2 is another threat. And maybe rook d3 was not necessary. How do I get away out of trouble? Maybe knight d4, c2 is covered. Knight takes, pawn takes, well, at least I'm attacking there. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, e7, I'm attacking the knight. Checkmate is covered. Yeah, it's risky, but I don't see a better solution. And I might get into time trouble, so I'm gonna go for it. Because at least if we go towards this line, it allows me to exchange more pieces, which is gonna make it simpler for me to deal with his initiative. I mean, I might have blundered something like knight takes d4, my queen is hanging, I take, bishop is hanging, and now the material is equal, but At least I'm gonna be in the driver's seat. I'm gonna play rook d2, h5 to secure my king. Yeah, I guess I have missed a majority of my advantage, unfortunately. I guess knight d4 is the best move for him, because if he plays queen takes e7, I'm gonna take the knight. In knight h4 is completely unexpected for me. Yeah, the idea is the rook might be hanging, so I have to have my queen somewhere here, be able to take with a queen. Okay, but now he cannot take the d4 pawn anymore, and the h3 pawn is hanging. I'm not sure I really like this plan for him, as long as I don't get checkmated somewhere. That doesn't seem to be the case. Ah, okay, rook c, bishop c2. Yeah, that is something completely missed. So I can take here, he takes here, I take the rook, he takes here. Well, I have another queen on the board, so that should be fine. And if it goes away with the rook d1, I can even take there. Okay, I feel like that's my only chance, no matter what. Okay, he takes there, but now I actually even have a choice. I can take here, because this pawn is incredibly dangerous for him, and it's not gonna be lost. But I can also take the rook, bishop takes, now f7 is hanging. That's a problem. Queen takes a2, I guess, is possible, and then I have two extra pawns. Let's go for it. Well, now I just have an extra knight. Rook a1 is a very bad variation for him. I guess he still tries to say that I have too little time to win the game, but I mean, that should be more than enough. Extra knights without any compensation. Just need to be careful with my king. But I guess it's time to go on and exchange rooks. Yeah, queen c8, queen f5 is annoying, but there is a checkmate threat in the end. So far my knight is not in trouble. But I should be aware of that. This one is not a problem. Now actually the queen and the checkmate are the threats. And he resigns. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. I mean, we outplayed our opponent in this Sicilian defense, so that should be very useful for you. And in this video, you're gonna see another incredibly useful game that is gonna bring your chess to the next level.